Good afternoon. Would you all please remain standing for the invocation, which will be delivered by Amber Christine McMahon, the Vice President of the graduating class.
As we gather here today to celebrate a step forward into new experiences in new places with new people, let us reflect and be thankful on the blessings that have laid our foundation. For this school, which has given us a safe place to learn and a strong base to build upon as we take this next step into the world as physicians. For our teachers, who have so richly educated and cared for us, even during the toughest of times. For our families, who have cheered us on to the finish line and stood by our sides through the many obstacles we ultimately overcame. For those who are no longer with us, but forever in our hearts, helping remind us of the humanity beyond the medicine. And on this day especially, we are thankful for the friends that we have found among our classmates, for all the jokes that we will laugh about in years to come, for the hardships and tears that we have endured together side by side, and for the relationships we will carry with us beyond these walls. For all these things, we humbly pray that our actions will prove worthy of the confidence placed in us as we care for those around us. Amen.
Please be seated. I'm Brad Brittigan, Dean of the College of Medicine, and I would like to welcome you to the 2022 College of Medicine Honors Convocation and Hooding Ceremony. Today, we honor the achievements and perseverance of our medicine graduates. We also recognize the contributions and support from parents, partners, children, relatives, and friends who have helped the graduates achieve this milestone. We are delighted that you could be with us for this day of celebration. At this time, I would like to introduce the UNMC faculty and alumni who will be participating in today's ceremony. Please hold your applause until they have all been introduced. Would you please rise when your name is read? Dr. Nate Anderson, Assistant Professor, Department of Internal Medicine. Dr. Anderson is one of the marshals today. Dr. Alan Erickson, Associate Professor, Department of Internal Medicine, Division of Rheumatology, and Assistant Dean for Student Affairs. Dr. Erickson will be assisting in the reading of the graduate names. Dr. Nathaniel Goodrich, Associate Professor and Pediatric Residency Co-Program Director, Department of Pediatrics. Dr. Goodrich will be one of the hooders today. Dr. Wendy Grant, Professor, Department of Surgery, Division of Transplantation, and Associate Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs. Dr. Grant will be assisting in the reading of the graduate names. Dr. Daniel Hirschberger, Assistant Professor, Department of Internal Medicine. Dr. Hirschberger is also one of the marshals today. Dr. Kimberly Latacha, Associate Professor and Vice Chair for Professional Education, Department of Genetics, Cell Biology, and Anatomy. Dr. Lataha will be one of the hooders today. Dr. Lynn Rowe, President of the College of Medicine Alumni Council. There are several faculty members here today that will be assisting in the hooding of one of their relatives, and I'm pleased to introduce them at this time. Dr. Samuel Samaj, Associate Professor, Department of Surgery. Dr. Samaj will be hooding his daughter, Stephanie. Dr. Thomas V. Conley, Adjunct Instructor, Clinician, Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery. Dr. Conley will be hooding his son, Thomas. Dr. Mark Emig, Clinical Instructor, Department of Ophthalmology and Visual Sciences. He will be hooding his daughter, Stephanie. Dr. Scott Fletcher, Professor, Department of Pediatrics. Dr. Fletcher will be hooding his son, Ben. Dr. Brian Haas, Adjunct Instructor, Department of Family Medicine. Dr. Haas will be hooding his son, Blake. Dr. Amy Jesperson, Adjunct Instructor and Clinician, Department of Family Medicine. Dr. Jesperson will be hooding her son, Ryan. Dr. Bridget Kandalavala, Associate Professor, Department of Family Medicine. She will be hooding her son, Carl. Dr. Chris Cradaville, Professor and Associate Chancellor for Clinical Research, Department of Psychiatry, and Dr. Jillian Cradaville, Adjunct Assistant Professor, Department of Pediatrics. They will be hooding their son, Taylor. Dr. Rudy Lackner, Professor, Department of Surgery. Dr. Lackner will be hooding his son, Tim, and daughter-in-law, Stacy. Dr. Arwa Nasser, Professor, Department of Pediatrics, and Dr. Laith Nasser, Adjunct Professor, Department of Family Medicine. They will be hooding their son, Sif. Dr. Matthew Rizzo, Professor, Director of the NNA Clinical and Translational Neurologic Sciences, Chairperson. Dr. Rizzo will be hooding his daughter, Ellie, and son-in-law, Devin. Dr. Scott Vandervecht, Adjunct Assistant Professor, Clinician, Department of Family Medicine, and Dr. Tom Vandervecht, Resident House Officer 3, Department of Family Medicine. They will be hooding their daughter-in-law and sister-in-law, respectively, April. Dr. Lucille Woodard, Adjunct Associate Professor, Clinician, Department of Family Medicine. Dr. Woodard will be hooding her brother, Leo. At this time, I would also like to introduce the remainder of the stage party. Dr. Amy Cannella, Professor, Department of Internal Medicine. Dr. Keely Cassidy, Assistant Professor, Department of Genetics, Cell Biology, and Anatomy. Dr. Kelly Kaverzagi, Associate Dean for Learning Environment and Educational Strategy. Dr. Shirley Delaire, Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Dr. Kim Schnartz, our Student Wellness Advocate. Thank you for your participation. I would also like to take a moment to recognize those that have helped our graduates get to where they are today. This includes the staff of the Office of Medical Education, the Office of Admissions and Student Affairs, the phase and coil directors, the block directors, and all of the faculty that have educated our students along the way. Dr. Kim Schnartz has helped our students in immeasurable ways to maintain their wellness while navigating the challenges of medical school. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lynn Rowe, President of the University of Nebraska College of Medicine Alumni Council, and a 1984 graduate of the College of Medicine. Dr. Rowe will say a few words on behalf of the Alumni Council. Dr. Rowe?
Thank you very much, Dr. Rudigan. It's my pleasure to be here today. I am a 1984 graduate of the College of Medicine, as Dr. Rudigan mentioned. I did stay and finish my residency in ear, nose, and throat in 1989. And ever since then, I've been practicing medicine in the Kansas City area. Even though I do not live in this great state any longer, I still have been actively involved in the Alumni Association, and for the last several years have been on the Alumni Council, and it's been quite a pleasure working with this great group of individuals. So even after this class graduates and moves forward in life, no matter where their journey takes them, they are always a part of this Alumni Association, and we are here to help serve them in any way they need, if anytime they want to reach out to us. Congratulations to all of you. I know that you should all be very proud, as all your parents and family and friends are. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rowe. In 2001, the University of Nebraska Medical Center College of Medicine inaugurated the Hershman Prize for Teaching Excellence, which is also known as the Golden Apple Award. The prize was created through the generosity of College of Medicine alumni Jerome H. Hershman, class of 1941, a retired cardiologist, and his son, Richard A. Hershman, class of 1973, a pediatric anesthesiologist. In making this gift, the Hershmans wanted to recognize outstanding educators and to express their appreciation for the quality of education they received in the College of Medicine. They also wanted to recognize the people who really make UNMC great. These awards recognize and reward those whose teaching affects students and impresses upon the students the need to care deeply about their patients. The Hershman Prize for Teaching Excellence is awarded annually to two outstanding faculty members, one clinical and one preclinical, who demonstrate a devotion to teaching. Each year, fourth-year medical students are asked to nominate and select recipients according to specific criteria. These guidelines include faculty members' use of innovative educational methods, professionalism, and awareness of students' educational needs. This year, the college will name its 18th recipients of the Hershman Prize. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Taylor J. Cradaville, President of the graduating class. Taylor will present the awards. Taylor?
Thank you, Dr. Bredigan. I appreciate it. First of all, just so excited to be able to have all of our family and friends come out today, particularly amidst COVID. Being able to be in a trough right now and being able to get together is just such a thrill, and having people come all throughout the country being able to join us today. So just a round of applause, first of all, for everybody that was able to join us. And so Dr. Bredigan had mentioned the Hershman Prize. This is the top prize that we as a class bestow on any faculty members at UNMC. And the way it's broken up, we give 2 on our 4th year. We give 1 for our preclinical years, which is a 1.5 years long that we're in the classroom, what you'd typically imagine a medical student doing over that early period. And then a second one for our clinical years, which happens after those first 1.5 years that we start to go into hospitals and clinics. And so I'm pleased to be able to award this to 2 people today. These go out to 2 faculty members that had a specific contribution, not only to the education of our class, but also to the mentorship of students. And I can hardly ever get my classmates to respond to my emails, and this one I received a lot of responses. So very, very excited to be able to pass this along. So our first award is our preclinical award. And this is going out to a person. We received a lot of comments about wanting to share a little bit of thoughts, and I wanted to give you a couple of those. One person said, "This individual is the hardest working preclinical faculty member that I've ever worked with. She is one that ensures that each student is set up for success so that any student can approach her for help throughout their 4 years." Another continued that this individual so clearly invested so much time into her students. She follows up with every single question with an email and has an ever-calming presence in the anatomy lab. Others mentioned that even though embryology was a very difficult subject, this individual paints a beautiful picture, and the subject of embryology became one of their favorite subjects. And lastly, this is one that I can certainly come behind, saying that this individual is a model educator I wish to be someday for future medical students and residents. And it's my pleasure to be able to award this award to Dr. Keely Cassidy from the Department of Genetic Cell Biology and Anatomy. So very well deserved, Dr. Cassidy. Thank you. Our second award is for our clinical award. So again, this is after we've left the classroom and going out into the clinics and hospitals. And this individual, the word that continued to come up was the word enthusiasm. When I was reviewing some of the comments, and this actually took longer than preparing any other parts of my speech, trying to pare down the number of comments, but just to give you a few, this individual makes the material that we learn exciting and engaging, and genuinely tries to understand the roadblocks that learners are trying to come across so that they can master the material. They continued saying that this individual played a key role throughout the musculoskeletal block and the transition block, making us feel not only prepared to go into the anatomy lab and be able to discuss pathology associated with anatomy, but also preparing us for step 1 and step 2 of our board exams, making us feel comfortable. This individual lectured with passion and enthusiasm that made you excited about what you were learning, and you knew that she was very excited to be there. And lastly, and this one made me smile because it's also true for me, anytime I had Dr. Canella's name on my schedule, I knew it was going to be a good day. And so without further ado, I am very pleased to present our Clinical Hershman Prize to Dr. Amy Canella.
Thank you, Taylor, and let me add my congratulations to Dr. Cannell and Dr. Cassidy. So each year, the top 6% of the College of Medicine senior class is invited to join Alpha Omega Alpha, the National Honorary Medical Society. New members are inducted on the basis of student and faculty voting and academic excellence. Would the following individuals please rise as your name is called and remain standing? And again, I would ask that you hold your applause until all the names have been read. Donovan Carril Allen, Anna Elizabeth Bach, Joseph J. Carmichael, Samantha Marie Sinclair Cox, Stephanie Elise Emig, Philian Lucas Gatchoff, Colin Allen Gilmore, Rohan Karzanchi, Taylor J. Cradaville, Stacy Noel Lackner, France Lee Lacrete, Saif Laith Nasir, Erin Nicole Olchen, Keely O'Rourke Reidelberger, Gabriella Rizzo, Mackenzie Pauline Nick Rowe, Thomas Edward Schrader, Noah Alexander Svek, Hannah Kieran Tandon, and Tiffany B. Drong. Congratulations. You may be seated.
Sorry, we had a mistake. That was GHHS. This is the AOA list. Sorry. That was GHHS. Sorry. This is the AOA list.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, I guess I've got the wrong list here. We'll do this over. Sorry about that. Little mistake in the script that we didn't catch. So, Alpha Omega Alpha, again, Austin Berry, Sophie Leila Cernage, Samantha Marie Sinclair Cox, Eric Connor Dobach, Michael James Eller, Alexandra Rose Fiedler, Benjamin Scott Fletcher, David Hao Fu, Austin Taylor Gibson, Carl Ranchan Kandalavala, Rohan Karzanchi, Jacob Thomas Kingsley, Taylor J. Cradaville, Timothy Joseph Lackner, Ian Thomas Langerstrom, Amber McMahon, Allison Marie Petrock, Benjamin Daniel Plembeck, Christopher Allen Stevenson, Taylor K. Thiemann, Lane Ross Ewing, and Christopher Joseph Weber. Once again, congratulations on the right list. All right, so there are but 3 more steps to take before our seniors fulfill the goal they chose in becoming physicians. One takes place tomorrow when the Doctor of Medicine degree will be conferred upon them at the Medical Center commencement exercises to be held at Baxter Arena. The other steps are of equal importance and occur at this time as the seniors receive their doctoral hoods and take their oath of physicians. The hooding of candidates for the Doctor of Medicine degree as a special ceremony separate from commencement tomorrow is a long-standing tradition in our College of Medicine. The presentation of the doctoral hoods to the students is an honor in and of itself. The green line hood, symbolizing medicine with its University of Nebraska colors of scarlet and cream, is symbolic of the extremely hard work and dedication throughout 4 years of medical education, which these young people have demonstrated along the difficult road toward their becoming physicians. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the hooders and readers for the ceremony. Would the hooders please step forward? Dr. Nathaniel Goodrich, Associate Professor, Department of Pediatrics, and Dr. Kimberly Lataha, Associate Professor, Department of Genetics, Cell Biology, and Anatomy. Would the readers please step forward? Dr. Alan Erickson, Associate Professor, Department of Internal Medicine, Division of Rheumatology, and Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, and Dr. Wendy Grant, Professor, Department of Surgery, Transplant, and Associate Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs. 4 years ago, students from the class of 2022 signed their name as a pledge to dedicate the next 4 years to becoming an accomplished physicians. Today, we ask the students to sign that book again, which is located right over here, to document their success in the accomplishment of their goal. So we will now proceed with the hooding. Drs. Erickson and Grant, please lead us forward.
Nate. Leo. In the first row, move. Just alternate. Snow Leopard Tyler. Leo will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for family medicine. Just wait for a second. Go. Yeah, go.
Richard Lay. Richard will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for pathology.
Megha Patel. Megha will be doing her residency at the Detroit Medical Center in Michigan for general surgery.
Christina Zhao. Christina will be completing her residency at the University of Chicago Medical Center in Illinois for pediatrics.
Dennis Marr. Dennis will be doing his residency at the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio for otolaryngology.
Okay. Scott Benson. Scott will be completing his residency at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, Texas, in obstetrics and gynecology.
Lane Ewing. Lane will be doing his residency at the Mayo Clinic School of Graduate Medical Education in Rochester, Minnesota in internal medicine.
Sophie Simage. Sophie will be graduating with high distinction. She's receiving the American Medical Women's Association Glasgow Rubin Certificate of Commendation for Academic Achievement. Sophie will be completing her residency at the University of Chicago Medical Center in Illinois in plastic surgery.
Xiomara Gerardo. She is receiving the Emergency Medicine Outstanding Student Award. Xiomara will be doing her residency at the University of Chicago Medical Center in Illinois for emergency medicine.
Victoria McKinney. Victoria will be completing her residency at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City in psychiatry.
Benjamin Plambeck. Benjamin is graduating with distinction. Benjamin will be doing his residency at the University of Iowa Hospitals in Iowa City for urology.
Samantha Cox. Samantha is receiving the Dr. William Engel Memorial Scholarship Award. Samantha will be completing her residency at the Health Partners Institute in St. Paul, Minnesota for emergency medicine.
Amber McMahon. Amber is graduating with distinction. Amber will be doing her residency at the University of Kansas Medical Center in Kansas City, Kansas for urology.
Seth Woods. Seth will be completing his residency at the University of Iowa Hospital and Clinics in Iowa City for interventional radiology.
Thomas Schroeder. Thomas will be doing his residency at Duke University Medical Center in Durham, North Carolina in urology.
Fransley LaCreed. Fran is receiving the United States Public Health Service Excellence in Public Health Award. Fran will be completing his residency at the University of Kansas School of Medicine in Kansas City, Kansas, in otolaryngology.
Donovan Allen. Donovan is receiving the Michael Combs Award. Donovan will be doing his residency at the University of Alabama Medical Center in Birmingham, Alabama, in internal medicine.
You want to do Taylor or you want to do Taylor? Taylor Cradaville. Taylor is graduating with distinction. He is receiving the Alpha Omega Alpha Gerald Moore Leadership Award. Taylor is also receiving the Nebraska chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics Award to an outstanding student in pediatrics, as well as the Mark Husk Pediatric Scholar Award. Taylor will be completing his residency at Children's Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts, in pediatrics.
Cody Masters. Cody will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska, in family medicine.
Taylor Tiemann. Taylor is graduating with distinction. Taylor will be completing a transitional residency at the University of South Dakota School of Medicine in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and then will return to complete a residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in dermatology.
Ian Langerstrom. Ian is graduating with high distinction. Ian will be doing his residency at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, in pathology.
Kyle Hines. Kyle will be completing his residency at the University of Massachusetts Chan Medical School in Worcester, Massachusetts, in pathology.
Taylor Dusher. Taylor will be doing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska, in internal medicine.
Anna Bach. Anna will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for family medicine.
Sorry. Hi, Paige. Paige Phillips. Paige will be doing her residency at Texas Tech University in Amarillo in obstetrics and gynecology.
Mitchell Mattis. Mitchell will be completing his residency at HCA Healthcare Kansas City in Overland Park, Kansas, in internal medicine.
Harrison Green. Harrison will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska, in psychiatry.
Grant Gertzen. Grant will be completing his residency at the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics in Iowa City in pediatrics.
Daniel Dooling. Daniel will be doing his residency at the University of Missouri, Kansas City programs in Kansas City, Missouri, in medicine pediatrics.
Scott Irvin. Scott will be completing his residency at the Charleston Area Medical Center in Charleston, West Virginia in medicine psychiatry.
Joseph Carmichael. Joseph will attend a transitional residency at Broadlawns Medical Center in Des Moines, Iowa, then do his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in radiation oncology.
Rafael Herrera. Rafael will be completing a medicine preliminary residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, and will then complete a residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center for radiology diagnostics.
Brenton Businger. Brenton will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in pediatrics.
Jacob Kingsley. Jacob is graduating with high distinction. He's receiving the Alpha Omega Alpha Grissom Book Award. Jacob will be completing a medicine preliminary residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha.
Alexander Control. Alexander will be doing his residency at the Wellstar Kennestone Regional Medical Center in Marietta, Georgia in emergency medicine.
David Fu. David is graduating with high distinction. David will be completing his residency at the Sidney Kimmel Medical College in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in urology.
Alexander Tu. Alexander is graduating with distinction. He received the Waldron Cassidy Award in otolaryngology head and neck surgery. Alex will be doing his residency at the Medical College of Wisconsin affiliated hospitals in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in otolaryngology.
Saif Nasser. Saif will be completing his residency at the University of Rochester Strong Memorial in Rochester, New York for internal medicine.
Carly Bryant. Carly will be taking care of her new baby daughter, Grace Magdalene.
Kristen Ramage. Kristen will be completing a residency at the University of Missouri Kansas City program in Kansas City, Missouri for obstetrics gynecology.
Blake Haas. Blake will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in family medicine.
Okay. Courtney Cahoy. Courtney will be completing her residency at the University of North Carolina Hospitals in Chapel Hill, North Carolina for child neurology.
Andrew Durgan. Andrew will be doing his residency at the Siouxland Medical Education Foundation in Sioux City, Iowa in family medicine.
Gabriella Rizzo. Gabriella is receiving the American Academy of Neurology Medical Student Prize for Excellence. She will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for neurology.
Devin DeLuna. Devin will attend a transitional residency at the University of South Dakota in Sioux Falls, before returning to do his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska for radiology.
Vivek Sharma. Vivek will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for oral and maxillofacial surgery.
Alston Trin. Alston will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in oral and maxillofacial surgery.
George Blankenow. George is receiving the Frank J. Menelissino Outstanding Student in Psychiatry Award. George will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for psychiatry.
Matthew Behrens. Matthew will be doing his residency at Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska for general surgery.
Melissa Davison. Melissa will be completing her residency at Clarkson Family Medicine in Omaha in family medicine.
Ethan Cook. Ethan will be doing his residency at Clarkson Family Medicine in Omaha, Nebraska in family medicine.
Philian Gatchoff. Philian will be completing his residency at the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine in Oklahoma City for neurology.
Taylor DeFries. Taylor will be doing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in family medicine.
Margaret Craig. Margaret will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in internal medicine.
Stephanie Emig. Stephanie received the Dr. James Leahy Memorial Award. Stephanie will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in family medicine. Happens every year.
Benjamin Fletcher. Benjamin is graduating with highest distinction. Benjamin will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for medicine preliminary, and then will complete a residency at the Mayo Clinic School of Graduate Medical Education in Rochester, Minnesota in radiology.
Carl Candelavala. Carl is graduating with high distinction. He is receiving the Alpha Omega Alpha Senior Scholar Award. Carl will be doing his residency at the Mayo Clinic School of Graduate Medical Education in Rochester, Minnesota in otolaryngology.
Michael Eller. Michael is graduating with high distinction. He's receiving the Alpha Omega Alpha Clinical Excellence Award, as well as the Leroy Meyer Outstanding Student in Internal Medicine Award. Michael will be completing his residency at the University of Colorado School of Medicine in Aurora, Colorado in internal medicine.
Oh, no. Sorry. No. Colin Gilmore. Colin will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in internal medicine.
Timothy Lackner. Timothy is graduating with distinction. He's receiving the Dr. William Engel Memorial Scholarship Award. Timothy will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in orthopedic surgery.
Stacy Lackner. Stacy will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in pediatrics.
Shura. Alexander Shura. Alexander will be completing his residency at Children's Hospital of Michigan in Detroit in pediatrics.
Catherine Sherray. Catherine will be doing her residency at the Detroit Medical Center in Michigan for general surgery.
Drew Thompson. Drew will be completing his residency at Grand Strand Regional Medical Center in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in internal medicine.
Hannah Maldonado. Hannah will be doing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in neurology.
Paul Witt. Paul Witt will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in pediatrics.
Erin Olchin. Erin will be doing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in pediatrics.
Sydney Powers. Sydney will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in emergency medicine.
Ashton Nelson. Ashton will be doing her residency at the Western Michigan University Stryker School of Medicine in Kalamazoo, Michigan for medicine pediatrics.
Mallory Gandy. Mallory is receiving the Donald Dunlap Award for highest academic performance in obstetrics and gynecology, as well as the Louise Nolan Scott Award. She will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in obstetrics and gynecology.
Austin Berry. Austin is graduating with distinction. Austin will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in internal medicine.
Morgan Harris. Morgan will be completing her residency at the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics in Iowa City in pediatrics.
Grant Starkey. Grant is graduating with distinction. Grant is doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in internal medicine.
John Chatterton. John is receiving the Mark Husk Pediatric Scholar Award. He will be completing his residency at the University of Minnesota Medical Schools in Minneapolis, Minnesota in pediatrics.
Zachary Egger. Zachary will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in anesthesiology.
Tiffany Trong. Tiffany will be completing her residency at the Western Michigan University Stryker School of Medicine in Kalamazoo, Michigan in pediatrics.
Cameron Shecker. Cameron will be doing his residency at the Western Michigan University Stryker School of Medicine in Kalamazoo, Michigan in internal medicine.
Evan Eilers. Evan will be completing his residency at the University of Illinois College of Medicine in Peoria, Illinois in internal medicine.
Robin Sarek. Robin will be doing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in pediatrics.
Megan Yank. Megan will be completing her residency at the University of Wisconsin Hospital and Clinics in Madison in emergency medicine.
Joshua Abels. Josh will attend a medicine preliminary spot at the University of South Florida Morsani College of Medicine in Tampa, then return to the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska for a residency in anesthesiology.
AJ Lowe. AJ will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in internal medicine.
Allison Petrock. Allison is graduating with distinction. Allison will be doing a transitional residency at Grand Strand Regional Medical Center in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, then doing a residency at the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston for radiology.
Megan Hunky Lomax. Megan will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in family medicine.
April Vonderfecht. April will be doing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in family medicine.
Abby Adams. Abby will be completing her residency at St. Louis University School of Medicine in St. Louis, Missouri in pediatrics.
Derek Sabatka. Derek will be doing his residency at the University of Arizona College of Medicine in Tucson, Arizona in internal medicine.
Christina Kahn. Christina is receiving the Paul E. Hodgkins Award in Surgery. She will be completing her residency at the University of Central Florida Healthcare in Kissimmee, Florida in general surgery.
Christopher Weber. Christopher is graduating with distinction. He is receiving the Brad Paulson Memorial Award. Chris will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in anesthesiology.
Ryan Mikas. Ryan will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for emergency medicine.
Noah Speck. Noah will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in anesthesiology.
Colin Pieper. Colin will be completing a transitional residency at Campbell University in Clinton, North Carolina.
Dalton Hegeholtz. Dalton will be doing his residency at the University of Utah Health Sciences Center in Salt Lake City, Utah in general surgery.
Simon Shin. Simon is graduating with distinction. He will be completing his residency at the University of Rochester Strong Memorial in Rochester, New York for general surgery.
Thomas Connolly. Thomas will be doing his residency at the Central Iowa Health System in Des Moines, Iowa in general surgery.
Matthew Byer. Matthew will be completing his residency at the University of Missouri Kansas City programs in Kansas City, Missouri in emergency medicine.
Jacob Pfeiffer. Jacob is graduating with distinction. Jacob will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in urology.
Eric Daubach. Eric is graduating with high distinction. He will be completing his residency at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in emergency medicine.
Congrats, man.
Ryan Jesperson. Ryan will be moving to Washington, D.C. to work in healthcare policy.
Nathaniel Zarobin. Nathaniel will be completing his residency at the Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee, in child neurology.
Austin Gibson. Austin is graduating with distinction. He received the Donald William Angle Memorial Scholarship Award. Austin will be doing a preliminary medicine residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska.
Elizabeth Gibson. Elizabeth is receiving the Fay Smith Award for Outstanding Performance in Family Medicine. She will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in family medicine.
Joseph Benish. Joseph will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in neurology.
Derek Lam. Derek will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in ophthalmology.
Carly Meyer. Carly will be doing her residency at the St. Louis University School of Medicine in St. Louis, Missouri in OBGYN, obstetrics and gynecology.
Gabriel Garbin. Gabriel will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in internal medicine.
Christopher Lindeman. Christopher will be doing his residency at the University of Florida College of Medicine, Shands Hospital in Gainesville, Florida in family medicine.
Emily Kalin. Emily will be completing her residency at the University of Wisconsin Hospitals and Clinics in Madison in internal medicine.
Shelby Offenkamp. Shelby will be doing her residency at the University of Louisville School of Medicine in Louisville, Kentucky in pediatrics.
Olivia Person. Olivia will be completing her residency at St. Louis Children's Hospital in Missouri for pediatrics.
Jacob Givens. Jacob will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in psychiatry.
Nicole Barmettler. Nicole will be completing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in general surgery.
Connor Beiersdorf. Connor will be doing a medicine preliminary year at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska, before completing his residency at Case Western University Hospital's Medical Center in Cleveland, Ohio for radiology.
Zachary Christensen. Zachary is graduating with distinction. He will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for medicine pediatrics.
Sharapati Tilawaridi will be completing her residency at Allegheny General Hospital in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for internal medicine.
Keely Reidelberger. Keely is receiving the Association for Academic Surgery Student Research Award. She will be completing her residency at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon, New Hampshire for general surgery.
Nathan Richland. Nathan will be doing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska for family medicine.
Saravani Singhu. Saravani will be completing her residency at Thomas Hospital in Fairhope, Alabama in internal medicine.
Alexandra Fiddler. Alexandra is graduating with distinction. She received the American Medical Women's Association Glasgow Rubin Certificate of Commendation for Academic Achievement. Alexandra will be doing her residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska in internal medicine.
Bryant Carlson. Bryant will be completing his residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha in family medicine.
Rohan Kazanchi. Rohan is graduating with high distinction. He received the Alpha Omega Alpha Senior Thesis Award. Rohan is also receiving the Nebraska chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics Award to an outstanding student in pediatrics. Rohan will be doing his residency at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts in internal medicine, pediatrics. So good.
Mackenzie Rowe. Mackenzie is graduating with distinction. She will be completing her residency at Inova Fairfax Hospitals in Fall Church, Virginia in general surgery.
Alexander Kolomaya. Alex will be doing his residency at the University of Utah in University of Utah Health Sciences Center in Salt Lake City, Utah in internal medicine.
Lauren Barnes. Lauren will be completing her residency at the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley in Edinburgh, Texas in obstetrics and gynecology.
These candidates now before us are properly attired in their academic gowns, and they have been duly honored as befits the occasion. The physician's oath is an allegiance to the practitioners of the art and science of medicine. Its roots go back to one of the founding fathers of medicine in early Greece. Its content is as valid today as it was when it was first written, and it remains valid for the future. All in medicine, worthy of the trust placed in them by others, honor and obey it. With these pledges, this class joins the ancient lineage of the most honorable and humanitarian profession. Will the seniors please rise and take the oath along with me? All right, here we go. Now, being admitted to the profession of medicine, I solemnly pledge to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will practice medicine with conscience and dignity. The health and the life of my patient will be my first consideration. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life, never using my knowledge contrary to the laws of humanity. I will hold in confidence all that my patient confides in me. I will not permit race, religion, nationality, party politics, or social standing to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will follow that method of treatment which I consider to be of greatest benefit and never hesitate to confer with my colleagues on my patient's behalf. I will learn to distinguish when to treat aggressively and when to restrain my hand in the face of greater power. I will maintain the honor and noble traditions of the medical profession. I will recognize hard-won scientific gains and share my knowledge with those who follow. I will treat with respect all others in my profession. These promises I make freely and upon my honor. Congratulations, and please be seated. We are truly delighted today to have as our convocation speaker, Dr. Jasmine Marsland, Assistant Professor in the Department of Internal Medicine. Dr. Marsland is a Caribbean native born on the island of Dominica. She received her Bachelor of Science degree with double major in biology and chemistry and a diploma in forensic science at St. Mary's University in Halifax, Nova Scotia. She then returned to her second home, Antigua and Barbuda, for medical school at American University of Antigua College of Medicine, after which she then completed internal medicine residency followed by infectious disease fellowship at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. During her time at Mayo Clinic, she was Chief Infectious Disease Fellow and founding co-chair of the Mayo Fellows Association Trainee Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Dr. Marsland is a passionate advocate for diversity and inclusion and is a founding member of the Infectious Disease Society of America, IDSA's Inclusion, Diversity, Access, and Equity Task Force, working towards creating a more diverse and inclusive infectious disease specialty. She is also the co-director of Digital Innovation and Social Media Strategy for the Division of Infectious Diseases and vice chair of the IDSA's Digital Strategy Advisory Group, highlighting her influence and expertise in social media for healthcare professionals. Clinically, Dr. Marsland practices infectious diseases and has a special interest in antimicrobial stewardship. As Associate Residency Program Director, she's focused on resident scholarship, diversity, and inclusion and wellness. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome Dr. Jasmine Marsland. Dr. Marsland.
So I wrote this speech, and I was hoping that I would be looking at the graduates when I was talking. So bear with me with the awkward kind of like neck back looking at you while I'm doing this. So dear brand new doctors, almost brand new doctors, I guess I have to wait till tomorrow, what to say to you? I wrote a song for brand new doctors a couple years ago with this title, produced and sung with a couple of my friends to the tune of Lin-Manuel Miranda's Dear Theodosia. In the song, we pour out our hopes and dreams for brand new doctors, and I seriously considered singing it, or at least part of it, for you today, but I definitely chickened out. So you'll have to go check it out on YouTube. If you like it, you can let me know, and if you don't like it, you can keep that opinion to yourself. But I'm really excited to be with all of you here today. On the day your ceremonial hooding ushers you into that new age of becoming a physician, and also more importantly, on the eve of my birthday. Tomorrow is my 38th birthday, and in addition to the fact that I've been repeatedly mistaken for a graduate myself in the last 2 days, and I do appreciate all the congratulations and the smiles, there's really no better way that I could think of spending this day than with all of you. I want to start with gratitude to this class, this graduating class, for bestowing on me this honor of sharing my thoughts with you for the next 8 minutes or so. 11 years ago, I stood with gratitude in front of my own graduating class. I was valedictorian and I gave this wonderful speech that I actually had to go back and find to remember what I said, but I knew that it was filled with a lot of wonder and joy. But in the last decade, what has filled me with the most joy was the privilege of working and teaching with all of you. Those of you who know me personally know that I'm a straight shooter, so I'm just gonna be honest with you. I wrote and rewrote these remarks multiple times because nothing I wrote seemed to be perfect enough. Nothing was perfect enough to send you off on your journeys. And I wanted to leave you with the most profound words that you would cherish and remember for years to come. And that was partially motivated by the fact that as I remembered my own graduation, I didn't remember anything that was said on that day. There are so many of you sitting here today whom I've mentored and watched grow over the years. And my words needed to be just right, but nothing seemed good enough. So maybe despite the most eloquent and moving words, you might still not remember what I say today, because there are so many other things on your mind right now. Many of you might be starting a new position, maybe even moving to a new place in the middle of a pandemic, figuring out how you feel about the match, maybe planning a well-deserved vacation, or coming to terms with being separated from your friends and your loved ones, your family. So even if we don't remember anything, let's focus on how all of this is making us feel. And let me tell you, I'm feeling a lot of feelings right now. A lot of feelings as I watched you all walk across this threshold and receive that ceremonial hood. I'm feeling excitement as I think about the good trouble some of you will be getting into at some point in the future. I'm feeling regret because many of you will be leaving, and while I know you will be happy at the places that you go, selfishly, I wish you would stay. I'm feeling apprehensive because there are just so many things you have yet to experience and learn, and so many things that I want to shield you from, yet I know that you must experience in order for you to grow. I'm sad because our country has lost 1 million lives to COVID-19, and some of whom maybe have been your loved ones who could not be with us here today. Having walked with you through the wards over the last 2 years, I know the impact of this pandemic on all of you and your education, yet here you sit in your regalia, intact, steeled, ready to move to that next step. So most of all, I'm feeling pride. So much pride as I've watched you all achieve your potential and overcome all that has been in front of you. I am so proud of you, and I want you to know that everything that I say today is coming from a place of profound love and admiration for you and gratitude to your parents and loved ones who raised you to be the people you are today. So I look at you all here today, and I think back to my own convocation, expectantly gazing into that future, completely oblivious to the fact that I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And I had all of these great plans that all started with me walking across that stage to be hooded with my person, the love of my life, whom I met in medical school, my husband, Dr. Alberto Marcellin, AKA Mr. Dr. Marcellin. The plans all made so much sense to me, and I just knew that I was going to accomplish every single one of them. So this is how it went. We would match together, we would excel as interns, we would win Intern of the Year, ace in training exams, graduate with top awards, I would be appointed chief resident, ace fellowship, then I would plan my first pregnancy in my last year of fellowship, and take 3 months of maternity leave to be with our firstborn. We would then land our dream jobs, and live happily ever after, the end. Now, if you've spent any time with me, and there's many of you in this group that have spent time with me, you'll know that for the most part, none of those plans actually materialized. Here's how it actually happened. My husband and I matched in separate states. 1 month into intern year, after our first time off together during our separate residencies, I returned from vacation pregnant with our first son, Nathaniel. Thanks to the grace of God, my husband Alberto got a transfer, so we were actually able to finish our residencies in the same state. But that intern year was rough. I did not do well in my in-training exam. I had a residency associate program director crush my dreams of becoming a chief resident. I graduated with 0 awards. I went on to fellowship. I experienced a traumatic 22-week pregnancy loss of our second son, Joshua. And I struggled to find the joy to keep going. A year later, I gave birth to my rainbow baby, our third son, Giovanni, and slowly began to regain that joy. Then we had to make the very difficult decision to leave a place where my husband's career was taking off because there was no career opportunity for me. So, absolutely nothing went according to plan, but I am mostly grateful for that actually, because this is what led me to UNMC, to where I am today right now with you, with accomplishments that I would never have dreamed of. So today, instead of giving you advice on how to achieve all of those dreams and accomplish all of those plans, or trying to come up with witty, tweetable Marcellinisms, what I really wanted to say to you boils down to one thing: stick to the mission. Plans may change or fail, but stick to the mission, and you will still get to where you need to be. Remember why you care about patients. Remember why you're wearing this hood and what you want for yourself. Stick to the mission. I'm not advocating for everybody to stop making plans. I am really a list maker. I love plans. I'm more productive when I can visualize things and cross them out and see how things are going. But what I'm saying is advocate for a peace that comes with knowing that some things will just not work out the way that we plan. And though we may not be able to control the outcome, we can certainly control the space that that outcome takes up in our minds. Sticking to the mission reminds us about what matters most and helps us to figure out when a closed door is not a door, but a portal. Our lives, this society is imperfect. On an almost daily basis, we are peppered with environmental and physical and emotional and spiritual and ethical and moral assaults through which we must bob and weave in order to get to the next day. Millions of people have died from COVID-19, multiple attacks on democracy, minoritized community fighting for acknowledgement of their rights and personhood. But we are still here. We persist. Sticking to the mission is what helps us to figure out how and when to make that good trouble that leads to sustainable change. This is something I don't need to lecture you about. I have seen you develop new curricula teaching about anti-racism in medicine, advocating for long-standing hospital practices based on racist ideals to be revised, and making it so that everyone around you sees healthcare equity through that lens with better patient care in mind. You organized to provide PPE and food and hygiene supplies for communities. You organized and advocated for state and national policy change. You created wellness and green spaces for rebuilding community. You did that. Students, faculty, staff, and community members down the road, we will be delivering and experiencing healthcare that is better because you stuck to the mission. Doctoring is hard work, with the constant medical knowledge and data discovery and acquisition and clinical medicine and developing patient rapport and medical education and scholarly activity and administrative work. It might seem like, some days you might not be excited about it all the time, and some days it might seem like it takes more from you than it gives. But if you stick to the mission, I promise you, you will have more days of joy than days of weariness. You will have more sunshine than clouds. And someday, you'll blow us all away. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marcel. I think we can all see why the class decided that they were the person they wanted you to hear from today. So congratulations and thank you. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce once again the president of the class of 2022, Taylor Cradaville, who will address his class.
And boy, thank you again, Dr. Marcellin. Like Dr. Britigan mentioned, Dr. Marcellin was chosen to speak to our class because she's done a lot of work through UNMC and has been a role model to so many with her work and advocacy for diversity, equity, and inclusion, for equitable care for all of our communities, and particularly being an infectious disease doctor amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, don't have to say much more than that. So one more hand for Dr. Marcellin. And after Dr. Britigan was able to do the stand-up, sit-down dance with all the faculty members, I decided that it may be worth doing that a little bit with our class, because there are folks that are worthy to be mentioned today. We, as a class, very beginning of our first year, we elect class officers that do a lot of work. Whether that's balancing the budget for our class, keeping us on track there, setting up philanthropic events to really bring our coursework from the classroom out into the community, setting up social events, and they do all this work. They do it on their own. We're our own bank. We're our own party planners. So I think it's worth mentioning, and when I call your name, please stand and we'll do applause at the end. Our vice president and our coordinator for Convocation today, Amber McMahon, our treasurer, Chris Weber, our curriculum chairs, Alex Tu and Taylor Thiemann, our philanthropy chairs, Mackenzie Rowe, Paul Witt, and David Fu, our wellness chair, Saif Nasser, and our diversity, equity, and inclusion chair, Fransley Lacrete. A round of applause for all these folks. And so I left off 3 folks intentionally. Y'all can sit down because I think these 3 really deserve some appreciation. We have social chairs that ran all of our match day ceremony events both the day of and that evening, and then also in graduation week festivities that did a heck of a lot of work. So if we could have our social chairs all please stand. Raph Herrera, Harrison Green, and Mallory Gandy. And I have one more person that I didn't get to thank at match day, and it was a big mistake. DJ Marr, for those of you who are in attendance, set up the whole slideshow, being able to coordinate all the photos, all of the songs, and he deserves a great thanks as well. A round of applause. And I'm really happy that Dr. Britigan was able to go through the list of a lot of different folks in the administration that did a lot of work for our class, because there are a lot. We're the second year to start a new curriculum, and we were treading our own path, but we had a lot of folks not only in the Office of Medical Education, but our clinician advisors, our clinician educators out in the clinic being able to help us through that. But there is one person that I think deserves special recognition. This person, her office became a second home for so many of us throughout the last 4 years. And being able to have a safe place that we can all gather, spend time with one another, and also sometimes have a shoulder to cry on and lean on and laugh with. And we were this individual's first class that she was able to be worked with, and we were so excited to welcome her into our family. I'd love to give a round of applause to Dr. Kim Schnartz, our student wellness advocate. And I'll cut to it because I know lunch plans are coming, but there are so many people. All of our marshals and hooders, what Dr. Britigan failed to mention is that all of those folks that were all elected by our class as well, to be able to be in those positions, a huge piece of our puzzle. So we have Dr. Nate Anderson from internal medicine. We have Dr. Daniel Hirschberger from internal medicine as well. They were our marshals today. And then our hooders, Dr. Nate Goodrich from pediatrics and Dr. Kimberly Lataha from genetic cell biology and anatomy. If you wouldn't mind standing one more time for a round of applause. And so many people behind the scenes that we're so appreciative of, that we're able to coordinate this event and all of the other ones, like Miss Lisa Paquette, who has been coordinating so much of this behind the scenes. Dr. Grant, Dr. Erickson, and Rachel Sampson, they all have just done great work. So I would be remiss not to mention them, and I'm sure I've forgotten a lot of others, but on behalf of our class, we're very appreciative of all of you. One more round of applause, and then I'll let you stop. So for those of you who don't know me and I haven't been able to meet or aren't from UNMC, and also my classmates that spent a lot of time on Zoom rather than in the classroom, I was, throughout the 4 years, whenever we had lecture, I really sat alone in the front of the class, over in the corner, and it was really by my own doing. There were folks like Derek Sabatka who would come and try to sit next to me, but I even scared him away. But what that granted me was a vantage point on our class, a real literal vantage point, being able to kind of survey the class and see what's going on. And in my reflection, I recognized the word that really continued to come to mind was the idea of symmetry. And it was beautiful in a lot of ways, thinking about our big class and what's been going on over these last few years. And then I started thinking about individuals, like Raf Herrera, who's always good for a really sassy joke to get chuckles throughout the class in the back. And then there are folks like Austin Berry, who would be the one laughing, and laughing so loud that an unnamed rheumatologist about kicked him out of class one day. And it was not our Hershman Prize winner, I will tell you that. And then there are folks like Tom Schroeder, who would run down when there's an IT issue, trying to get down and be able to fix it. But then there were folks like Carly Meyer, who right at the end of lecture, she is out of there running the opposite direction so she could go to a workout class. We had a really good class, and that is symmetry. We had balance, and we had a lot of wellness, and we had a really special time. There was a significant other of one of our classmates that I was able to chat with last night, and what he pointed out is he's at a separate institution in a separate type of program, but what he was really shocked by is the community that we have and the friendships that we have, the fact that we can all get together and be able to chat and feel comfortable with anybody in our class. That's something really special and something that I appreciate. And so those friendships in the class, there's some symmetry there as well. There were folks that could pick your head up when you're having rough days, whether it's going into our first anatomy exam. I know I was feeling overwhelmed. But there are folks that stay late with you and spend time and go through those structures with you, just rolling with anatomy. But then on the other end of the spectrum, there are folks who will stay up late with you, whether it's at the Crescent Moon or at Med Prom or what have you. And being able to have that community has been really special. There's symmetry there. And then we have not only our school community, like Dr. Schnartz that I mentioned, who's there to support us and be a shoulder to cry on, but then we also have all of you. There's symmetry beyond the walls of our institution with our family and friends that truly, without those calls of support, without those care packages, without those meals that y'all were able to feed us, it really does make a heck of a difference. So again, that idea of symmetry. And the way I see it, there's symmetry as we walk across this stage and celebrate over this weekend. We had a lot of successes, being able to make it through the first few years of medical school. I know I was relieved. But there were a lot of tough times as well. And being able to recognize the times that I know I doubted myself at a lot of different times, whether it was getting into medical school and taking the MCAT, or getting through step 1, or those first anatomy exams. And I think that it's important to recognize this is one of those step back and survey the room moments for each of you, because there is going to be another time that we're doubting ourselves, and it's probably going to come on July 1. And recognizing that we've run into those areas of doubt in the past, but that we have made it this far, and you have achieved so very much, and remembering these type of moments that you're walking across the stage with family and friends to support you. Because we made it, we're here, and we're gonna be able to walk across the stage tomorrow as physicians. And I cannot tell you how proud I am to be a member of your class. Over these last 4 years, I truly do see you as family members. The best way I can put it is that I don't look forward to a lot of school reunions, but I will absolutely look forward to coming back and spending time with you all. Thank you all so very much for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Taylor. So as we conclude this convocation, I'm going to pick up a little bit of a theme that Taylor started on, which is I'd like to recognize those individuals who've helped our seniors reach this day. And I'm going to ask them to stand. First, the spouses, partners, and children of seniors. Please rise and remain standing. Don't sit down, because I want you to be joined now by the parents of the seniors. Would you please stand? Don't sit down yet, because next we want you to be joined by the grandparents, aunts, uncles, other relatives, and friends of the seniors. So all of you, please stand. And if there's anybody not standing who's able to, I am not quite sure why you're here. But we welcome you anyhow. So one more time, seniors, faculty, please join me in applauding those of you standing and thanking you again for all you've done to support our graduating seniors. Now you can all be seated. So finally, to the seniors, as you continue to strive for excellence in reaching your career goals, I, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Medicine, wish you good health, happiness, and success in the challenging years ahead. Congratulations on your achievements in reaching this Convocation Day. We wish you the greatest success in achieving your goals and dreams. Would you all please rise one more time, this time so that Donovan, Hariel, Allen, speaking on behalf of the UNMC student body, Vice President Hannah Kieran Tandon can deliver the benediction.
Hello, everyone. My name is Donovan. I'm going to deliver the benediction today. These words were written by my great friend and colleague, Hannah Tandon, who couldn't make it today because she was sick. As we leave today to begin the next phase of our journey in medicine, may we continue to find joy in the fellowships of our friends and families, have grace and strength to endure the challenges that lie ahead, channel our passion into building a better and more just healthcare system for all people. Remember that there is always enough time to take a moment for our patients, our loved ones, and ourselves, and be inspired and humbled by those who trust us with their care. Thank you.
Thank you, Donovan, for your willingness to pinch hit, and we wish Hannah the best in terms of a quick recovery. So this concludes our ceremony today. Would you please remain standing during the processional march, and once again would like to invite you all to be with us tomorrow at Baxter Arena for the Convocation. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.